@gmail.com. Some of the entries have already poured in, but we would like more and more children to participate actively in this particular event. It's your event, right? So Anjali Shaw has submitted this particular beautiful theme-based entry. Similarly, each one of you are very talented, I'm very sure, and you have been using and utilizing this time to nurture your talent. So let's have as many entries as possible so that it's your celebration. See, such a lovely sketch which is in tune with the contemporary. Neela Manna has submitted this particular entry. It's a pencil sketch. Let's take a few reflections. Maybe some of the children would like to share something that will be very enriching before we start the next session. And the resource person for the session, Dr. Vanchana Singh, is already with us. We welcome Dr. Vanchana Didi. Namaste.
Namaste, Didi.
Till then, we'll start the session sharp at 10:45.
Right. Maybe one or two students who wish to share their own reflections regarding the proposals which are put forth. Looks how beautiful all these depictions are. We could see the participation, how encouraging it is for all of us to see this talent, and more entries can definitely be part of this. And we
and moreover, there's a parallel Hindi session going on. So some of the children may have already joined the Hindi link, I'm sure. But yes, we have more than 630 participants with us, and we would like to hear some of our friends, participants.
Maybe we can take up one sharing before formally starting the session in another 3-4 minutes. So,
Pragati, Miss Pragati, you have the mic.
Ma'am?
Yes, beta.
Ma'am, is it compulsory only painting or we can do sketching also?
You can do sketching, beta, but it should be in accordance with the theme that has been enlisted here. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You can do pencil sketch, as you had seen earlier in one of the viewpoints. Also, it looks beautiful, but if you're very comfortable with the pencil sketch, that is fine.
Okay, ma'am.
Maybe one of the child would like to share something about the universal human values which we have been taking up, and a number of proposals which have been put forward. Bhavana, you have the mic, beta.
Ma'am.
Yes, Srihari, what would you like?
I have a doubt regarding something.
What is it, beta?
Ma'am, I heard from the universal human values that to control anger and other feelings so as to not to hurt anybody, right? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, but we missed out
Hello?
a word.
Yes, beta, you are audible. Go ahead, Bache.
We have been taught on how to control anger, how to be so good. But I think there will be times when we have to be angry, when we have to respond to something which is total injustice. So at times we need to be angry, so we have to use our feelings which might hurt others, but we have no other options. So at that times, what should we do?
Well, sir, beta, when you say that you are angry, is it making you comfortable?
No, ma'am.
It's not making you comfortable. This is something which is not naturally acceptable to you, right? So whatever situation it is, right? If you ask yourself, whether it is making you comfortable or not, the answer which you get, right? You have been putting that it has been compulsory to express it like that, but still, when you look at the answer which you get within, you get the answer that it is making you uncomfortable. Would you like to continue in that state?
No, ma'am.
You would not like, which means that this is something which is not desirable for you, right?
Right.
Right. So we need to see, why do we get angry, and we need to understand this feeling of trust, right? And as we move ahead with this whole set of proposals which we are putting forth, right, one
Yes.
after the other, we can verify this anger is whenever we doubt someone's intention. That's what we discussed yesterday, that this trust is to have this assurance that the other wants to make me happy, right? But he may not be able to do so. So the other has committed some mistake, but that mistake is because of his ability, not because of his intention, right? He doesn't want to do so, but by mistake, he is doing this. Once I have this within me, then I look out for ways in which I can deal with the other person, in which I can help him making more responsible. So that doesn't lead to anger.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Right? So this anger is something which is not naturally acceptable to us. Each one of us can explore for ourselves.
Yes, ma'am. Right.
So maybe I hope we are well in time, Didi. So let's namaste to all our participants. It is 10:45 now, our time. For the session.
Yes, yes, Vicky. I'll do the needful of introducing to our participants, our students, and of course, some of the faculty members are also participating in this particular event. So today, for the sessions on universal human values today, our resource person for the day is Dr. Vanchana Singh. Dr. Vanchana Singh is BSc Honors in Physics from Delhi University, MSc Physics from Delhi University, PhD in Condensed Matter Physics from IIT Delhi, presently Associate Professor Physics at Indraprastha Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Dr. Vanchana Singh is involved in teaching and learning process in higher education for more than 16 years. She has published a number of research papers in high impact journals in the core domain of course, nanomagnetism. Since last 3 years, Dr. Vanchana Singh is involved in Universal Human Values, active member of UHV cell, of AICTE-SIP. Of course, presently, Dr. Vanchana Singh is also one of the resource persons for all the SIPs that are being conducted via AICTE during this lockdown period as well, and even before that. And today we are going to have a session with Dr. Vanchana Singh. Over to you, Didi.
Thank you, Manisha Di. And I would like to share my screen now with our participants. So namaste to all our participants. And as in this UHV session, each day we are getting these new proposals and we are exploring, we are having this self-dialogue within us. So today, in this particular session, we'll be talking about these two feelings, affection and reverence. And of course, our participants are there and they have a number of queries. So maybe we can just start with one sharing from one of our participants, any one of our participants who would like to just reflect upon all what we yesterday had this discussion on feelings, right? Where we were talking about trust and respect. So Satyajit, would you like to say something regarding your yesterday's experience about universal human values if you want to? Any other
Yes,
student?
ma'am.
Yes, Beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good
Ma'am,
morning.
I'm very grateful uh, to this to have this opportunity. Uh, for developing skill or knowledge about the how to maintain relationship within the life. But ma'am, I'm having a doubt. Having just a question that whether a positive attitude can change the society, or because being positive and showing a good nature to everyone, it may seem
We're
to be
not
weak.
getting voice.
Ma'am, am I audible now?
Not
Hello.
getting voice.
Yeah, Didi, I think there is some network issue at your end.
Am I audible now, ma'am?
Yes, Satyajit, Peter, you're audible,
You're
but
audible, yeah.
Bhaiya,
In the meantime, when Didi connects, I can respond. Yeah, please, Satyajit,
yes,
proceed.
yes. Satyajit, you may please go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. So my question was that being positive and being every time good and responding every time good to each and everyone, negativity also can bring a change in the society, or because it may feel to everyone that we are weak, so we are just portraying our good nature.
Okay, I'll say that there are two things. One is understanding, and the second thing is just conditioning oneself. So conditioning never helps. So the approach that you are saying, no, that we behave properly with others, we have a smiling face, and follow such rules. So ultimately, that will not ensure happiness within you. And in due course of time, we'll see that the relationship also doesn't grow well with this kind of approach. Ultimately, we have got to understand the things as they are. So I need to understand myself. I need to understand the relations. I need to understand the other person. So as we discussed yesterday, when you observe it very precisely, you will see that intentionally each one of us is fine. Each one of us wants to be happy and make other happy, right? But due to lack of competence and so to say lack of right understanding, we are not able to ensure
Hmm.
happiness for ourselves as well as for others. So there is no need to condition oneself. The only need is to understand the things as they are. And you will see that a sustainable transformation takes place in your life as well as others' life.
Oh, yes, sir. But I am understanding others also and their problems also, and responding likewise in the same manner. But it may uh, it may sound everyone that I am weak. So is it like that to
No,
respond every time
no.
good too?
That's what I'm saying. Responding good is not the choice, is not the question. Responding with the right understanding is something that is being proposed here. So when you understand things as they are, you do not appear weak. Rather, people are able to see that in spite of the fact that they are not competent, you are behaving with competence. So this is not your weakness. I'll say rather this is your strength. And that is only perceived by others also. Say somebody shouting at you, feeling angry upon you, right? Now,
Yes,
one
sir.
choice is that you get depressed.
Hmm.
The other choice is that even if you are depressed, you are trying to smile at the other. But the third thing would be you are able to see that the other person is lacking in competence. Even though he naturally accepts to make you happy, he's not able to have this kind of competence, this kind of maturity in oneself. So you are able to understand the other and you are able to handhold the other so that the other also feels comfortable in relation with you and gradually is able to develop one's competence. Thus, this appears as your strength to the other, and the other acknowledges also in due course of time.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. I am satisfied with that. Thank you.
Okay, beta. Yeah, Vanchana Didi, Didi.
Yes, he's not there right now. You can take.
Okay, okay. So then please keep on running the slides, and I am reading from my end. So far we have talked about the feelings of trust and respect, right? And we saw that trust is the assurance that the other naturally accepts to make me happy. So with the reflection that we had yesterday, and one question also we responded to, which was asked by Satyajit. Are you able to see? Maybe you can chat in the chat box, and you can also message on the this YouTube chat box. Are you able to see that the other naturally accepts to make you happy? Let me have some responses here. So a day has gone since we discussed this particular thing. You'll see that this is the foundation of any relationship. When I'm able to see very naturally that the intention of the other human being is sound, it's only that the understanding falls short. And the same thing holds true for you also. You naturally want to be happy, you want to make the other happy, but it takes time for oneself to develop that kind of competence. And in a similar manner, we have to see that the other also will take time to develop that kind of competence. Okay, nice. Now, when I am assured of the intention of the other, then I'm also able to see that the purpose, which is the intention, is the same. Our program to understand the things is also the same. And each one of us has got that potential also to understand. So this becomes the minimum content of respect. And then with that preparedness, I'm able to rightly evaluate the competence of the other, right? And that gives me a sense of complementarity for the other. So to make a successful program with the other, it is essential to rightly evaluate oneself and the other. We have seen that right evaluation is respect. In fact, trust and respect, that is right evaluation, are at the base of any relationship. So with trust and respect, only the relationship grows. There are some hands raised. I hope they are. Yeah, Vanchana Didi, you are there?
Ji Bhaiya, I am here.
Okay, Didi.
Shall I start?
Yeah, Didi. Sure.
So maybe we'll take up questions and we'll just start with this. Sorry for this internet issue. So I hope now the slide is clearly visible. And let's take up these questions from some of our participants regarding their understanding. So Sabina, Madan, you have the mic with you, beta. Muruthal, am I audible now? Sabina?
Yes, you're audible, Didi. Sabina, beta, would you like to know something, or would you like to discuss something?
Vivek?
Vivek Chaurasia?
Some of our participants. Okay, maybe we'll just lower hand for all our participants and then take up those who want to participate right now. Shahanoka, Mehul Kumar.
Yes, ma'am. I have a doubt that, ma'am, we are putting trust on everyone, but if once they break our trust, and then it is difficult to trust them. So, in many situations that many people are means वो लोग सुधर जाते हैं, लेकिन हम तो भी ट्रस्ट नहीं कर पाते, तो हम कैसे करें उनको, मतलब कोई ऐसा होता है कि
So you have your own definition of trust, but what we are proposing is that this trust is assurance, right? This assurance in me that the other naturally accepts to make me happy, which means that the other has this natural acceptance to make me happy, right? It's not about whether someone is able to give the money back to me when I lend that money, or somebody is able to share something, right? Just look at this definition of trust, right? That I have this assurance in me that the other also has this natural acceptance to make me happy. He may not be able to do so. Am I able to ensure this trust in me, right? We have been using this word very loosely every now and then, that somebody is breaking my trust or something. Have we really understood this word? That is the question. Are you getting this, Pita?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So the question is that this trust is to have this assurance that the other naturally accepts. This is the natural acceptance of the other, just as I have the natural acceptance, right? Just like I want to make the other happy, I may not be able to do so every time. I may fall short because of my own capability, right? So that is trust. And then when I look at this trust, is this trust conditional, or what do you feel? Is this trust conditional or unconditional? What do you feel, beta?
It is unconditional, I think so.
Yes. So once this trust is unconditional, now I can have this trust on all, and then I can move ahead in my relationship, right? So I will rightly evaluate the other. So if the other is thief, right, and he have this assumption in me himself that he can make quick money, right, I'll rightly evaluate him and I'll safeguard my things. That is not losing trust, right? I can ensure trust on all, and I can take care of my own things also. So that is what I need to have this clarity. Are you getting this point, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, our participants from YouTube are also watching this, and they can also get this clarity. When we say trust, this trust is to have this assurance that the other also has this natural acceptance to make me happy. And this trust is followed by respect, right? In fact, this trust and respect, these are the two basic starting feelings for any relationship. Now, once we have tried to ensure this understanding of trust and respect, now we are moving on to understanding this feeling of affection. And when we say affection, it is the feeling of being related to the other. When I have this feeling that the other is my relative, right? I have this acceptance in me that the other is my relative, be it my friend, be it my family member, be it my junior, be it my senior, right? So whenever I have this trust and respect, with this trust and respect ensured in me, then I have this feeling of acceptance for the other as my relative. And that is this feeling of affection. And with this feeling of affection, right, you can just ask yourself, right, with this feeling of affection, where if I have this feeling of affection to the other, what will I do? What will come to me naturally, right? Will you take the responsibility and commitment for mutual fulfillment of the relation? You can put answer in the chat. What do you feel when you have this feeling of affection, maybe for your younger sibling, whomsoever you feel, right? What, you can just put your answers in the chat. What do you feel about this whole feeling of affection to whomsoever you have this feeling, right? You can just see with your own sibling, you might have this feeling of affection with your own friend, right? Does it give you a sense of responsibility? So we can see some kind of answers which are appearing, right? So with this whole feeling of affection, where I have this acceptance of the other as my relative, that is affection, right? In whatever relationship I am dealing with. Now, when we say jealousy, is it actually a feeling or is it absence of affection? That is something which we need to see for ourselves, right? We can just see, we can just ask ourselves, whenever I have this affection being missed, it is jealousy, or jealousy in itself is a feeling, right? If my friend gets more marks than me, right, at that point of time, if I have this feeling of affection ensured, what will happen? Let some of our participants answer. So what will happen? You can put your answer in the chat box. What happens when your friend, when the results are declared and somehow your friend gets slightly more marks than what you got at that point of time? What is it that comes to you? Devanjan, would you like to answer? We can have few answers in the chat also. So some of the students say they feel happy. Jashan Babu is saying, I feel happy. Suraj is saying somewhat jealous. Some of the students, very honest, I must say, very honest kind of reflection which our participants are putting. Some say they feel jealous about it. Some say they feel happy about it, right? And we can just see. Yes, Vita.
Yes, ma'am. We feel affection when somebody got a first rank in the school or colleges. That means a competition starts to build up, but that doesn't mean there is a competence in between us. because one may be good in studies, one may be good in different activities, but that doesn't seems to be any type of jealousy or indication.
Okay, let's explore further and get answers for ourselves. Similarly, on YouTube also, can we get some reflections from YouTube?
Ji Didi.
Ji Minu Didi. Are our participants giving answers similar to this?
Yes, very similar. And there is one very mature response. Says, sir, I feel when the person on the opposite side doesn't give your feelings respect, then you should not beg for it. And most of the people are telling that yes, they have this feeling of jealousy, and some of them are also able to see that jealousy is absence of affection.
Right. So just to see, so suppose we in our homes also we have seen. So maybe suppose you are the elder one in your family, and at one point of time when you were 3, 4, 5 year old, your younger sibling became part of the family. So this new baby comes to the family, right? And we have seen, you might have also observed for yourself also, that at that point of time, initially when mama is putting all attention to this new baby, this whole feeling, right, this whole kind of jealous feeling, we ought to have this amongst us. But soon the baby becomes our darling, right? Our own sibling becomes our own darling, because we start having this feeling of being related to the other. So mama soon introduces and says that this is your younger brother or younger sister, and see, he is there with you. And soon this whole feeling of affection is there, and immediately this whole feeling of jealousy disappears. The moment there is this feeling of affection coming into picture, this whole opposition, this whole jealousy, that disappears. So this opposition jealousy, what do you feel? Is it absence of affection, or is it some kind of a feeling? You can put your answers in the chat. What do you feel? What do you feel? Have you feel that? Yes, one of the student, Pranav, is saying, when I was kid, I had a tough time making friends. But when I got my brother, it became, I was really excited. Yes, very true. When you feel related to the other, you have this feeling of affection within you. Very true, Pranav, whatever you are saying. And Upma is saying that it is absence of affection. Minuma, Didi, we can have some reflections from YouTube also if our participants are reflecting there.
There are so many, in fact, over here. And one student, T. Dikshita, has written, jealousy is sometimes thoughts related to loss.
Right. We have this lacuna or vacuum which we feel within us. And because of that, we have this. So many of our students are saying that, yes, jealousy is this affection of the absence of affection, which is expressed as jealousy. So if I'm able to have this feeling of trust and respect, and with that trust and respect, I have this feeling of being related to the other. I have accepted the other as my relative. That becomes this feeling of affection. It can be seen in friends, it can be seen in siblings, it can be seen amongst our own family members. So if I feel related to my grandparents, I have this feeling of affection, they have this feeling of affection with me, right? So we all can observe this whole feeling of affection. Now let's look at this whole scenario, right? We can just see, do you agree? Or our participants, they have answered some of this question, that do you agree to this, that this whole feeling of affection is being related to the other, accepting the other, and this opposition jealousy, they are indication of absence of other. And we saw so many of our participants already answering it. The whole chat is indicating that they strongly agree to it. Some of them agree to it, opting for B, right? Rarely can I see anybody, uh, in fact, I have not seen till now anybody saying disagree or strongly disagree. So our students, we can just see, they strongly agree with this whole proposal, that this jealousy or opposition which we feel within us, that is an indication of absence of affection. And if I'm able to ensure this affection in me, this whole jealousy disappears, right? Let's look at this whole relationship within our own colleges also, right? The kind of interactions we have. So let's focus on this interaction versus ragging, right? Which we feel you have joined a new institute, right? So in this new institute, when you have this whole feeling of being related to the institute, and the seniors over there also have this feeling of relationship, right? So let's ask ourselves, let's put up this question for some of our participants. So how do you feel when a relative or a friend comes to your family, right? What kind of feeling you have? Arzu, would you like to answer, beta? Arzu? Pragati?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, beta. How do you feel when a relative or a friend comes to your family?
Ma'am, I feel very excited about that, and that
You have this feeling of being related to that new person who has come to your family, right?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, yesterday 2 new members come in our family, so I feel very excited about it.
Very nice, beta. Very nice. So when this new family member or any kind of relative or friend comes to our family, right? What kind of interaction is naturally acceptable to us? Do we feel happy about it, right? We want to share things, or we want to just keep our things to ourselves, right? When we say interaction, right, this whole word interaction is when we are able to listen to the other, when we are able to share the feelings with the other, right? In this, but when we are interacting with someone, right, we have this feeling of affection at the base. But when we say ragging, right, this ragging is something when we lack this relationship, right? So these newcomers, when they come to college, right, and we being seniors at that point of time, in fact next year our students who are now freshers, they will be seniors. So we can just see, so when these newcomers come, is it something which is necessary? Is it something which is desirable that we tease them, we make fun of them, we try to hurt them, right? Just see for yourself, is this something which is naturally acceptable to you, right? What do you feel, what do you want in a college scenario, whether you would like to have interaction or you would like to have ragging? What is naturally acceptable? Our participants can answer what is naturally acceptable to you. Until you answer, maybe we can take few questions or few kind of reflections from our participants. Shiva Priya?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
am
Vita.
I audible to you?
Yes, Bache. What do you feel?
Ma'am, I think being interactive is really naturally acceptable to me and also to everyone, because they are also facing, if we are going as an fresher and when we got tracked, actually it's really what a worst feeling ever. And actually in my case, I won't allow anybody to do to any others. So I feel interaction is really better than ragging or something else. Being interactive, that is one of the most thing what being
True,
a fresher in the college.
very true, Beta. You have shared your honest feeling, and this is something which is naturally acceptable to you, right? Maybe
Yes,
we can
ma'am.
ask somebody else also, what is naturally acceptable, right? Is it interaction or ragging? Devat Krishna Srinivasan?
Ma'am, interaction is natural acceptable to me.
Right. And we see our participants in the chat box, they are putting, right? And we see that it is the interaction. Megha is saying, we being a fresher, we need friendly seniors, right? And we must see, next year you are going to be senior, right? This is the cycle. Next year you are going to be senior. On the YouTube also, Minu Didi, what kind of reflections we are getting from our participants?
Didi, everybody wants interaction.
Yeah. So
I just want you to address one question, Didi. Abin feels that ragging is good for mental health. And Ashok Shukla feels ragging is a result of bad upbringing and mob mentality. So these are two opposite.
Yes, these are two strikingly opposite feelings. One of them is saying ragging is good, and the other one is saying that ragging is something which is not naturally acceptable. And we have to see for ourselves. Somebody who's saying that this ragging is good, is it making you comfortable? You have to ask yourself, if this same thing happens to you, right? When you are taking this ragging for someone else, you might see that as some kind of an excitement, right? But when you ask yourself, is it something which is naturally acceptable to us? If it happens to us, are we comfortable? Is it wise or a normal mental status to seek enjoyment by hurting others? This is something which we all need to reflect upon at any given point of time, right? Is it something, it's a normal mental status to seek enjoyment by hurting others? Is this something which as a human being is acceptable to us? That is something which we can ask ourselves. So as students, you all can explore, and we see, uh, in fact 99% are reflecting in a similar way, and maybe one or two they are exploring within themselves, and maybe they are just trying to be slightly different from the other and putting up answers like this. So let's see for ourselves, right? So
very right, Didi.
Let's see for ourselves. This is something which each one of us needs to see, whether this is something which I would like to do or I would like to feel, whether as a newcomer, does it going to hurt me if someone else does it for me, and as a senior, will I be doing this, right?
In fact, Didi, many are telling natural acceptance is for interaction, not for ragging. 99% of the responses.
Very true, Minu ma'am. In fact, the people from YouTube, they are also very actively participating, and each one of us can see that this natural acceptance is something which is universal. So even though we might be sitting at different places, we might be having different surroundings, but the answer that comes from so many of us, right? Some 800 people right now on Zoom, and more than that on YouTube, so many people giving the same kind of answers. That reflects what our natural acceptance is and how universal it is. So this is something which we feel that it is the interaction which all of us want, right? Each one, nobody wants to be secluded. So we want this interaction, but this interaction is different from ragging, right? So a healthy interaction is a must that gives us this feeling of relationship, right? Because in the same institute, we are part of that same institute. We are going to stay together for 3-4 years with our seniors, with our juniors. So this whole feeling of affection is something which is very important to nurture that relationship, where we as students become mentors or guides for our juniors, and we seek help from our seniors, right? It's a continuous process. As I am joining this whole institute in the first year, I need to be mentored by my seniors, and when I move ahead, I need to mentor my juniors. And this is only possible when I'm able to ensure this feeling of affection, right? We can have some personal views from some of our participants. What do they feel regarding this whole interaction? Navneet as Prashant, you want to put up something better?
Hello, ma'am.
What
Am I
do you
audible?
feel? Yes, Bache. What do
Ma'am,
you
I personally feel, ma'am, small mild ragging is acceptable. Not like making us crawl in the ground or wash the seniors' clothes. Not like that. They are catching us and asking us to sing a small song or make us to perform a small dance. I think that can make a good bond between the seniors and juniors. That kind of ragging is also a kind of interaction, isn't it?
Well, why do we want to put this ragging? Why can't we make it interaction, right? When you
Ma'am,
say it's an
okay, ma'am.
interaction,
Okay, ma'am. That's okay.
yes.
But this kind ragging is what we say. Ragging is going as a process from the last years. Very many years back, it is going as a process. So our seniors will also make that on us. We cannot change everyone's mind. If there is 100%, 80 has a mind to make what to share what they have, what they got in their early years.
So we have this preconditioning within us that ragging is something which is bound to happen, right?
Yes.
Who all are involved? Who all are involved in this whole process, right? We have to see, is it someone else or is it all of us?
All of us.
Yes. So who needs to understand this whole interaction versus ragging, right?
We want to understand, ma'am, but I think this kind of classes can do a great job in that. Yes, if we all have a mind to set that ragging is not good, we should change. We should not continue our seniors like that. Then
very true, very true. Whatever you are reflecting upon, that is something very true. If we can bring about this personal transformation, right?
I think there are 30,000 or something students are hearing this class. They should get a mind from this class, and they should take a strong decision that we will not do as what our seniors did. We will take our juniors as our chunk bros, friends, and we will not run them. Then there will be a drastic change, and that can be continued to the upcoming years.
Very true, beta. Very true. Whatever you are reflecting, this is something which is very true. So all of us need to ensure this feeling of affection, right? With this feeling of affection, we can differentiate between interaction and ragging, right? All of us want to interact, right? That is something which is desirable.
Yes.
So this interaction is something which is naturally acceptable. But when we try to hurt the other, then this interaction shifts and becomes ragging.
Ragging.
Right?
But ma'am,
so this
I think
healthy interaction is a must.
Have a mind that this interaction should be through a ragging. Their mind is like that. Seniors think that this interaction should be like through
this we have to just see, is it something which is a preconditioning within us that we blame the other and we say that the seniors are like this? Is the other like me or not? If I can get this clarity within me, the other also has this potential to have this clarity.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So with this feeling of trust within me and this feeling of respect ensured in the relationship, right? So I have this trust, whether it is my senior or my junior. The first thing is that I should ensure this feeling of trust.
Yes.
Right? So we have to see our own preconditionings also. Sometimes we ourselves are so much preconditioned that even for a normal interaction, we start believing that this is going to take a turn and it might turn somewhat ugly. Right? So this we need to differentiate between interaction and ragging. Right? Let's ask our participants some of the creative ways, right? Some of the ways in which we can have this feeling of affection between senior and junior batches. This is something which is desirable, right? All of us feel the need. We have seen so many people answering that yes, interaction is something which is desirable and ragging must go away. Ragging, in fact, is something which is absolutely not acceptable to any one of us. So you yourself can suggest ways. So let's look forward to some ways. Let's hear from some of our participants who want to suggest some ways in which we can have this interaction in such a way that we are able to ensure this feeling of affection. How can we develop this feeling of affection between the junior and the senior batches? Right? Varshini, would you like to say something?
Ma'am?
Yes, beta.
मैम बट इफ वी मीन्स अगर हम अपने सीनियर्स के साथ रैगिंग करना छोड़ देते और उनकी बात नहीं मानते तो मीन्स दे आर डूइंग टाइप ऑफ ब्लैकमेलिंग टू अस सो हाउ कैन वी stop this all nuisance?
Well, the first thing is that I need to take this responsibility, right? So let's look out for some ways, right? There I might be senior or junior at any given point of time. Maybe currently I am a junior, but next year I am a senior, right? So can I look for some creative way where I can develop this affection between the two batches, the senior and the junior batches. Can I look forward to something like that? Anyone from our YouTube participants, if they want to put forth, they can put forth their own suggestions, right? Suraj, would you like to say something?
Ma'am?
Yes, Vita.
Ma'am, there can be a friendly relationship between a senior and a junior. So
Yes.
there would be no ragging and it will move on smoothly.
So we can have this
Understanding each other and supporting, then ragging will not be a big issue there. No, ma'am.
Right, very true. So when I'm able to see that the other is similar to me, and it's the natural acceptance of the other also to make me happy, just like I have this natural acceptance to make the other happy, right? So if I'm able to see that, can I look forward to some creative way, some kind of way which you can suggest, right? Anything
Ma'am,
which
can
can
I
come.
try?
Yes, Peter, of course, please.
Ma'am, I would suggest that there is in some particular colleges, the union tries to dominate others by ragging. Am I right, ma'am?
What sense of union, Beta?
Some students union which consists
Okay.
of senior members.
Okay, so
Okay.
you say that it is.
So I
what?
was trying to tell that if that union is given the responsibility by college itself to check that ragging is not happening, then they might not be able to disturb others.
So you are saying that maybe the student union, which usually comprises of the senior most students, if the senior most students are given this responsibility, probably then they can help out the junior most and the next batch to that. Usually it's the first year and the second year which are interacting, so the senior most batch can play a crucial role. That is what you are saying, Beta?
Yes, if they are themselves given the responsibility of checking that ragging does not happen, then how it is possible for them to rag?
Do we need to put all check measures, or do we need to ensure right understanding within each and every individual? What do you
That will
feel?
automatically come if they are not permitted to rag.
Okay, let's ask, when somebody says that you are not allowed to do this, at that point of time, what is it that comes to us when somebody is dominating or somebody is forcing, right? If the authorities are putting forth that you are not allowed to do this, if the authorities say that you are not allowed to do this, is that going to bring about the solution? What do
No,
you
I am
feel?
not telling that you are not allowed. I am telling that it should be given as a responsibility, that it's
Right.
like a
Very right.
management type of thing.
Very right. Very right. So once the senior most students, they are able to ensure this right understanding, they are going to help out their juniors and the next batch and so on. So that is one way. Any other suggestions, Meenu Didi? Any suggestions appearing on YouTube?
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, Beta.
Ma'am, I think this kind of classes, SIP like that, should be made compulsory for the first years.
Yes.
Didi?
Ji.
Didi, very nice reflections here. Natasha is telling, when seniors stop looking at a junior with the view that they are junior,
right,
start encouraging them,
very true,
help to overcome ragging.
very
And
true.
Pavitra is telling, so seniors must show their junior that they are like their own family members whom they can trust upon.
Very true, very true, very true reflection. Once, just like this new infant we discussed right now, this new infant who comes to the family, right? Is the elder sibling trying to rag him at that point of time, right? So many students, they put forth their own idea, right? That my younger sibling, initially I found it difficult to adjust with my friends, but with my own brother coming into family, my own sibling coming into family, I started having this feeling of affection. So we all need to see this for ourselves. So many of our participants, they're coming up. Maybe we can take one more quick.
Didi, I think they have to respond in the assignment also. So we can proceed here and they will be responding in the assignment in detail also.
Yes.
Ma'am,
yes,
ma'am, can you please tell the difference between prank and ragging?
Well, beta, prank is some activity which you are doing, right? And making it a part of ragging. This is something, right? So you are making fun of something or trying to make mockery of something. That is something which is prank. And maybe we
And the
can have
basic
further
issue is
discussion.
affection here. If you have
Yes.
affection, would you like to go for a prank or drag somebody?
Definitely.
If that affection is missing, then we'll just have to articulate whether this is suitable or not. But the basic issue is to ensure the affection. Yeah, Didi.
Ma'am, I think there should be interactive sessions in the college between juniors and seniors.
Definitely, beta, definitely. So with this whole feeling of affection within us, we are able to ensure that we have this interaction within all our relationships and not ragging. So now let's look at this whole concept of excellence, right? When you look at ourselves, we all want to excel in life. So it is very important for us to understand what is this excellence, right? Is it being better than the other in a particular area of life, or is this excellence something else, right? What do you feel? You can just reflect upon this quickly in the chat box. Maybe we'll take up right now in the chat box. What do you feel? What is excellence? So in the chat box, some of the students are saying being better than the other. Megha is saying being unique than the other, right? So let's see what this excellence is. Have we really understood excellence? Are we clear about this whole excellence, making oneself special, striving towards perfection, being good human being? Okay, these are some of the reflections which we are getting from our participants. Let's see, right? Let's understand what is this. When we look at ourselves, excellence is something which is naturally acceptable to us, but have we really understood it, right? Have we really understood it? So we will explore about how to achieve this excellence. What is this excellence and how to achieve this excellence? And then the whole program for excellence, is it through competition or is it through collaboration? What do you feel? What do you think? When we want to achieve this excellence, right? We all want to excel. So for achieving this excellence, when we say excellence, what comes to us? Are we going to explore it? Uh, is the program going to be through competition or through collaboration? What comes to you? So many are saying that it is through collaboration. When you ask yourself, then it comes as an answer that it is through collaboration. Yes, so many are saying it's through collaboration. Very true. Very true. You can make out that it is coming through collaboration. So with this, let's have this. Yeah, I wanted to show this movie. Maybe again it is stuck here. Bhaiya, can you play this movie for me?
Okay, Didi, just a minute.
Just, I wanted to play this movie for our participants and I'm trying to share it from here, but I'm unable to play this movie from here. This is a short movie for our participants to understand what is excellence. And I tried this movie, but I think it's not
Fine,
showing.
Didi, we'll try from here.
Is it showing?
Allow me to share from this side.
Okay, Bhaiya. Ji Bhaiya, I have stopped sharing.
Okay, Didi.
I have stopped sharing, Bhaiya. we have this movie with us, which we would like our participants to watch and understand about this excellence. What is excellence, right? So many of our participants said that it is through collaboration that they want to the whole program.
But yeah, what makes good life? That movie will be played, na? Right now, that is required to play it.
No.
Ubuntu. Ubuntu.
Somewhat no.
Story of
This video
Ubuntu.
that is opening here is not reflected.
Yes, Priya, the same is happening. Now it's here.
Now
yes,
it's
Priya.
Okay.
We are not getting audio.
He put a basket filled with fruits
Yeah,
underneath the tree.
Didi, please, like start it from the beginning.
Ji. It should start from the beginning.
Yeah, just you just hold it for a moment, Didi. This video is about the story of Ubuntu. The voice may be a little low, so we'll have to pay a little attention to hear to it. Yeah, it is how about working together, how about living together. And the core message that is being conveyed is I am there because we all are there, right? So yeah, Didi, kindly play this.
Ji.
Day, a Western anthropologist went to Africa to study the social behavior of an indigenous tribe. He was a game to the children, and they willingly agreed to be part of it. He put a basket filled with fruits underneath a tree and made the children stand 100 meters away. He announced that whoever could reach the basket first would win the whole basket and could eat all the fruits by him or herself. He lined them all up, raised his hand to give the start signal. Ready, set, go. Astonishingly, the children took each other's hands and started running together. They all reached the basket at the same time. Then they sat down in a big circle and enjoyed the fruits together, laughing and smiling the whole time. The anthropologist could not believe what he saw, and he asked them why they had waited for each other, as one could have taken the whole basket all for him or herself. The children shook their heads and replied, Ubuntu. How can one of us be happy if all the others are sad? One of the sayings in the country is Ubuntu. It means, I am because we all are. It is the essence of being human. Let's always have this attitude and spread happiness wherever we go. May we all live our lives with the spirit of Ubuntu.
In fact, the students can watch this video in the break also. The title of the video is Story of Ubuntu. Some students are saying that the voice was not very clear to them. So we suggest that you can watch it by yourself also during the break.
Very true.
Please proceed. Yeah.
So in fact, we watched this video. It's a small video, and our students, our participants can surely watch this. Ubuntu. I am because we are all are, right? That's the message. And we are trying to understand excellence, right? In that video, what could you see? Anyone would like to reflect upon what you could make out from the video? You can put in the chat also what you could make out from the video. The video which was just shown, people are writing they could find togetherness. They could find that how can one be happy without the other being happy? Very true. So we could see that the happiness, when I look at this happiness, I cannot be happy within myself if the other, I'm not making the other happy, if I'm trying to hurt the other, right? So when we say excellence, this excellence is understanding harmony and living in harmony at all my 4 levels of living. When I look at myself, I live as an individual. I'm part of a family, so I live as a member of the family. My family is a part of society. So I live as a member of society. And then I am a unit in this whole nature and existence. So if I'm able to understand how to ensure harmony and then live in harmony, that is going to bring about this continuous happiness in me. And that is excellence. So this excellence and competition, they are not similar. Excellence, when we say excellence, one tries to bring the other to his or her own level, while in competition, we try to hinder the other from reaching to his or her own level. We can just see, right? How many students in the class can understand? When we ask this for ourselves, we can see that all of us can have this potential to understand something, right? Over here also, we are discussing few proposals, we are discussing something. How many of us can really understand? What do you feel? Is it one or all? What do you feel? You can just write in the chat box. How many of us can understand this whole harmony at all our levels of living and live by it? So many of our students are saying all. But if we say how many students can come first in the class, right? When we put some competition, who scores the highest marks? Then we see only one, right? We can just see this for ourselves. So when we say excellence, this excellence is when I'm able to understand harmony and live in harmony, and each one of us can do it, and we can help each other in bringing to other to that level, to his or her own level. But when we say competition, we try to hinder the other. So we can just ask, all can achieve excellence, but only one can be special, right? Is it something which you agree to or you disagree? You can just put your answers. Meenu Didi, we can look at answers from the chat box. What our participants are reflecting. Are they clear and agreeing with this definition of excellence? And they can get that excellence is something which each one of us can attain. From our YouTube participants also, we are getting similar kind of response that all can achieve excellence. All can at least try to proceed on the way to achieve excellence. But when we look at this competition, then there is only one winner. So when we say excellence, then in case of excellence, the other is like me. We try to be complementary, right? We try to complement each other. So one set of students in the class, they might have one skill. The other set of students might not have that skill, but they have some other skill. So they complement each other. So we help each other to come to his or her own level. And this is something which is naturally acceptable to us. So the basis is natural acceptance and it is definite. We are able to rightly evaluate ourselves and the other. And each one of us can proceed towards this journey of excellence. But when we try to be special, right? Just see, when we try to be special, is it making us comfortable? We try to make ourselves better than the other. No one is like me. I am the best. And in this process, we try to stop others. We try to accentuate the differences. We try to dominate, manipulate, exploit, right? And it is operating on the assumptions which keep changing. And we are always either over evaluating ourselves and under evaluating the other, which means that we are neither respecting ourselves nor the other. Because this over and under evaluation, which we have seen, right? That is something which is a kind of disrespect which we are putting. And there it is absolutely relative. What do you feel? Let's take quickly from some of our participants. What do they want themselves? To proceed towards their journey of excellence or to be special? Avinash, what do you feel, beta? Would you like to put forth? We can have some reflections in the chat box also. Right? So let's ask this question to ourselves. What is naturally acceptable to us? To work for excellence or to work to be special? What are you currently working on? What is naturally acceptable to us? And what are we currently working for in the current scenario?
Actually, naturally acceptable is to be work to be working for excellence.
Right. Right. And are we currently focusing on working towards excellence? What do you feel?
Yes, I feel that we are, but in some of the situations, this session particularly helps us to be special. It helps us to be different from others by changing our perspective.
Well, if you are able to see that this is something which is naturally acceptable to you and to the other, then that makes you similar to the other. Or is it making you different from the other?
No, the session helps us to see things and situations in a different way, which we previously used to do. So
Right.
we are
So
already
there is
different
this
from many
shift.
others.
There is a shift in you, and you are able to refer to your natural acceptance.
Yes.
Right. And we can see that all of us have the same natural acceptance. And each one of us wants to work for excellence. Is it?
Yes.
Right. So, Meenu Didi, any reflection from YouTube?
Didi, there is a flood of A's.
Right. So we see when we ask ourselves, we all want to work for excellence. And when we work for excellence, we all can work together. The movie which we saw just now, where all of them were working together for the common goal, right? We could see we all can work together. So when we look at this competition versus collaboration, this whole feeling of competition, this has an adverse effect on each one of us, right? Our own sense of fulfillment with this competition, are we able to ensure that for ourselves? With the other human beings, when we are interacting with them, with this feeling of competition, we try to pull down the other, right? In the society, in the nature, are we able to, with this feeling of competition, are we able to ensure harmony with this feeling of competition throughout, right? We feel unhappy whenever we have this feeling of competition. Do you have this feeling or not? Let's see, let's ask ourselves, right? We can put our answers in the chat also, and maybe one or two of our participants, they can put their reflection. Divya, you have the mic with you, beta. Would you like to say something? What happens when you have this whole feeling of competition within you? Meenakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am?
Yes, beta. Any reflections from your side, Bachi?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
yeah.
is I'm audible?
Yes, beta. Yes.
Ma'am, up to this current time, I was working to be special, but this sessions has been given me to work on to be excellent. Now on always, I am going to be excellence to follow.
Very nice, beta. Very nice reflection. If you have been able to see that shift in yourself, that is something
Yes,
which is
ma'am.
your achievement.
Thank you,
Nice,
ma'am,
beta.
for this wonderful session.
Very nice. So,
Ma'am?
welcome, beta. Yes,
Ma'am?
beta. Go ahead.
Ma'am,
Go ahead, beta.
competition is like being selfish and you want to work to be the best and sort of put everyone else down. And sort of in outside that really doesn't work because you alone can't do much. You should always be in a team and
Right.
that gives a more impact.
Right. So when we are having this whole feeling of competition within us, we try to hinder the growth of others. We try to make them unhappy. It is promoting this whole feeling of war, struggle, survival of the fittest. Is that something which is naturally acceptable to us? Right? We are in this, we want to consume more and more, keep more things for ourselves, accumulating more. All that is coming because of this. So you can just see what is your opinion on this, whether you agree to this, that there are adverse effects of the feeling of competition on each one of us. You can just put your options in the chat box. Looking at the time, maybe we'll be slightly going fast with this. So what is your opinion, whether you strongly agree that this whole feeling of competition has adverse effect on you?
Maybe they can reflect on this and then we can break for now and assemble and start from here in the next session. Because
Okay,
we need
since
some
it is
time also to
time.
reflect on all
Ji,
this.
ji,
Yeah, Didi.
ji, bhaiya, ji. So maybe we can just stop, and In between, we can take some queries from our participants and then move ahead further from 12 onwards.
Fine, Didi. I am available. So if they want to ask something, then I am available. Shamla Didi also there. Maybe Shamla Didi can respond to the queries.
Ji.
Ji, Didi.
I'm not able to open the chat. If somebody can just call out the names and.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, can I read out a beautiful reflection from YouTube?
Certainly.
So Shiv EV has written, the feeling of belongingness, happiness and excellence is what makes us feel special, not competition.
Very nice. Very nice observation.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, go
Ma'am, I
ahead.
have a question. Ma'am, I have a question that what we have learned about excellence, does excellence lies at the point where our intentions and their impact are closely aligned?
Yeah, what we are saying excellence, when we are saying excellence,
Yes, ma'am.
we are talking about being in harmony at all the levels that we can be. So being in harmony within myself,
Yes, ma'am.
when I can be, happy without getting disturbed by anything that is going on outside. Then being in harmony within the family, being in harmony in the society, and being able to see the harmony in nature and all of existence. So understanding this harmony and living in harmony at all of these levels of my being, that is what is excellence.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome. Miss Prasanna, I think. Shahina? Miss Shahina? Mr. Avinash? Miss Divya? I think people have taken a break. Yeah, Miss Minakshi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, rather than this adverse effect of competition, there are also, we want some competition mind in it, isn't it, ma'am?
What is it? Rather than adverse effects of competition?
There want to be an competitive mind in us in some of the situations in our life.
Yeah, so just think about it. Like when you are competing, that feeling within you, is it a feeling that makes you comfortable? Is it something that is naturally acceptable to you? That is something you have to explore. Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? You feel good when you're competing? When you keep feeling that I have to come first, I have to come first. Do you feel good?
In case of my studies, I will always see that I am competing.
What is it? You have to explore this for yourself.
In case of my studies, I feel that I am always competing.
You may be competitive, but how do you feel when you are in competition? When you feel like you have to do better than everybody else? Is it a feeling of comfortableness inside? Do you feel comfortable? Yes, I have to compete, I have to do better, I have to do better. And then when you do, supposing you do come first, now how long does that feeling, that good feeling of coming first last? And how soon after that do you start working again, so that again you have to come first, you have to come first for the next exam? So you have to think about, just explore it for yourself and see, is it something that makes you feel comfortable, or is it something that creates a lot of pressure and anxiety within?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, on that point, I feel pressure, ma'am.
Yeah. So obviously when you're feeling pressure inside, that's not a very comfortable feeling, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not something, that's what we are also saying, that it's not something that is very naturally acceptable to us. What is more naturally acceptable is to not have all this pressure, not have all this tension. And besides, when we just saw in that movie Ubuntu, that if one person has to come first, only one person can be happy. Everybody else is going to be unhappy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So we are sort of, are we really, is this what we want out of all the people, all the children that are there? Do we want only few to be happy, or do we want everybody to be happy?
Yes,
so that's
ma'am.
something that we can think about.
Yes, ma'am. I strongly agree with you, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome.
Ma'am?
Yes?
Ma'am, when we were talking about interaction and ragging, so ragging is like, suppose when we are juniors, we get ragged. So as seniors, we feel like, why should we leave the juniors alone? Like it's like a chain. So isn't it really tough to break that mindset of the seniors to say that, okay, we have gone through this, why shouldn't the others?
Yeah. So yesterday we saw, we talked about reaction versus response.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So now if somebody shouts at me, am I forced to shout back, or I can change my feeling? So if somebody rags me, troubles me, I feel unhappy, I feel hurt. Do I have to do the same thing? Or can I also, yeah. So if I see that, this didn't give me happiness, then I can try to make life a little easier for the new person who is coming. If I remember how I felt in the new institution when I just joined, and all these people were not nice to me and I felt unhappy, if I go through that, do I necessarily have to make the next year freshers also go through it, or can I actually help them to sort of become a part of the institution and be helpful to them? So that is something we can all see for ourselves and see whether that is possible firstly, and whether it is something that is naturally acceptable to us. And then you can
Yes, ma'am. But doesn't there's some sort of like that sadness or that uncomfortability in us, so we have to remove it in some way, right, ma'am?
So when you trouble somebody, do you become comfortable?
No, ma'am, but some way to release it. Otherwise, it's always inside our mind and we sort of degenerate.
Yes, certainly, what we are not saying that when somebody troubles you, you just keep quiet and not talk about it and just keep feeling it inside. What we are saying when we say change the feeling is that when I can see that the other person is related to me or like me, so if I can see that this person who has come new as a fresher, supposing this was my younger brother or younger sister who has come, will I do these things with them? Will I
No.
trust them like that?
No.
No.
Yes.
So
Ma'am?
change that feeling, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. And that
Ma'am?
more comfort, makes me feel better, or ragging them gives me relief, makes me feel comfortable. That you have to observe, watch, and see.
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Yes, who is this?
Ma'am, I'm Raju.
Okay.
Ma'am, if a person dragging, if you give a complaint on police, it is a stop, ma'am.
Is it a?
Police complaint to stop the ragging, ma'am.
Yeah, see, everything, if we are going to ask the police to come into it or the Supreme Court to come into it, you may forcibly do something in that realm, but wherever, within the room or within the hostel, or if nobody is observing, then what happens? So
Yes,
like,
ma'am. Police complaint is stop the ragging, ma'am.
okay, if I give you one example, supposing your parents say you will absolutely not look at the computer by yourself because I don't trust you and you are watching some nonsense on the computer. Now you will not work on the computer. If your parent tells you that, you will not work on the computer while your parents are there. But when your parents are not in the house, will you be tempted to go back and look at the computer or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So only Now you have changed your behavior on the outside in the presence of your parents, but soon as the parents leave, you are back to the same behavior. But on the other hand, supposing we say we let you understand why this is not good, and we allow you to work on the computer, and we also give you that responsibility, we have that trust that you will do what is right for you, and we allow you to see the things that are worthwhile seeing and not to waste time on other things. Would that be
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, what I do if a person dragging with me is dangerous without complaint?
No, we can discuss this. This is why there are people in the institution. There are senior people, there are staff, there is faculty who can help out. Certainly we can bring it up. But with whether if you give a police complaint, it will stop completely, that is something that we have to think about. Is it possible? Or will it be better if each person takes that responsibility on themselves? You're thinking right now as a fresher. Tomorrow you will be the second year and there will be other freshers. So, what are you going to do with them?
Yes, ma'am.
That's
Yes, ma'am.
another bigger question.
Ma'am, another question, ma'am. If a competition, it is a get to job.
Excuse me, what
It
is
is a
it?
not,
Hello?
ma'am. It is a competition to get a job, but excellence is not a good job for anyone, ma'am, because of his skills to get a job.
Yeah. So, what is the question? I'm not able to get.
Ma'am, competition is best than excellence, ma'am.
Oh, you're saying for the job.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So see, today because we think that this is the only way for us to have a good life, we have created this artificial importance of certain skills and certain subjects. And so everybody thinks that that is the best way to go. And so everybody tries to go that way. Like, for instance, in that movie that we saw yesterday, this person who lost his job, he felt that unless the person knows computers, he cannot do anything in life. So is it really true? There are so many options, aren't there? There are so many entrepreneurs where you don't have to compete with each other, but you can still make a good life. You can have a good life, make a good living. So,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am?
Yeah, there is a flood of people, but yes, go ahead, please.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm from Tamil Nadu, ma'am. My name is Kalai Chelvi. I'm from Department of Chemistry, LLR College of Engineering and Technology, ma'am.
Yes.
So I shared the things what you taught to us so far with my husband and my son, ma'am. They both had a question to me, ma'am.
Yes.
So I couldn't able to answer it. So I want to ask the question to you, ma'am.
Sure.
So the question from my son, ma'am. So there are two friends, ma'am, to him. So they are all together, they are very happy, ma'am. But once when there is a competition between them, so for example, if a faculty ask a question to him, if my son respond faster and get good names or some prizes, means they get the other one getting hurt, ma'am. So due to which the relationship is not smooth. So in that condition, what my son has to do, whether he has to react with them or he has to respond with them. They are jealous with my son.
Yeah. So see, unfortunately, we have created this system for our children today.
Yes, ma'am.
We have created such a system where we are making so many children unhappy, and we are creating all these problems in relationships. So ultimately, we have to somewhere break that cycle. So right now the system is like that, but at least among the children, they can see that this is just because the person has answered faster, that doesn't really spoil the relationship. And it's not important. That is not important that one person answers fast or one person answers slow. We both don't answer, We can both well.
Ma'am, his ma'am did partially behave with them, ma'am, but they themselves are deciding this.
So at least from my side, I should not get disturbed, and whenever the chance occurs, I can try to sort of rebuild my relationship if it is breaking, or at least try to assure the other person, in my behavior with the other person. So if for your son, if the other person is getting jealous and not able to see that relationship, if I also react, then the relationship will break. Then there is no relationship. But at least if I can see and I have trust on intention that he really does want to make me happy, but he doesn't have that understanding right now, then what do
Yes,
I
he is
do?
only 10 years old, ma'am.
Okay.
So he always complained regarding this to me, ma'am.
Yes.
Is it a thing that I have to answer or not? So I want to be loyal to my friends or to my ma'am.
It's not a
So these are
question
the
of
question
either
what I
or.
got from him, ma'am.
It's not a question of either or. I can answer the question also and try to talk to that other boy also and say, that somebody asked the question and I answered or you answered. It doesn't matter. We both know the same things. It makes no difference. If we can try to discuss it with the other child and at least try to make the other child comfortable in our presence, then the relationship will not break. It can move forward. And there are so many examples of children in the same class being good friends and continuing friendships throughout life.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
It need not be.
Okay, ma'am. One more question from my husband, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, he is working as an area manager, ma'am. So here also there exists a competency between all the area managers, ma'am. So if he perform continuously in a good manner, more amount of work is being dumped to him. But everyone is being paid the same salary. So the question is that why I have to work a lot? So I have not been recognized for working a lot. But since I'm being dumping a lot because I'm good, I'm doing work on time. Just a question from him.
Yeah. So one can be, now I'm doing work as a sense of responsibility. I'm taking ownership of the work. Other can be that I'm working because somebody is giving me money. I'm being paid, and I will work only for whatever has been allotted to me and nothing beyond that. So I have a choice, right? Anyway, he's doing the work, isn't he?
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, he's doing the work, but he's doing it with a lot of unhappiness. So he can keep doing the work, but be happy about it. That at least nobody can take from me. That is my right and that is my choice. So I am still doing it, but I'm complaining. It's like even, say somebody, say a student, the mother or the father tells them to do something. Now they might feel that this is my job is to study. Why should I have to do the dishes? Why should I have to clean the house? Supposing there is no help and the parents are asking the child to help. So now either you can look at it as one whole unit, one whole family, and try to help each other, or you can say this is only I can restrict it only to this. But then because of the pressure of the family, you have to do the job also, but you keep grumbling, you keep complaining, you keep banging things down and keep doing the work also. So now how much unhappiness you're creating for yourself? Anyway, you're doing the work. So let's do the work, but not get so unhappy about it. You can still do it happily, and you'll find that when you're doing it happily, it doesn't seem like such a big deal. It seems to get done much easier. So you can offer that
So far he is doing like that only, ma'am. But others were escaping from this no, ma'am.
Yeah, I think we can take a detailed discussion. Maybe we can take later on. Yeah, because there's some content also to deliver.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay,
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So as we wanted to
maybe
continue
during the
with
sharing
our
session, ma'am, we can take your question.
Ji Bhaiya. So maybe we can proceed ahead. So we were discussing about adverse impact of the feeling of competition, and so many of our participants agreed that yes, competition, as soon as we have this feeling within us, it leads to so many negative impacts on us, where we try to hinder the other, we feel pressurized, otherwise we disturb our own harmony, we are not able to ensure this harmony within us. But the moment we have this feeling of collaboration, cooperation within us, we have this feeling of being related to the other. We start cooperating, we start ensuring this harmony within us. And when we look at our own natural acceptance, it is for this feeling of relationship and cooperation, right? This is something which each one of us can see. This whole competition versus collaboration or cooperation, right? We need to see what is our perception about this whole world. I need to see for myself, right? In today's worldview, what are we assuming for ourselves, right? So we can just see, is it A or B? The struggle for survival and survival of the fittest? Is this something which is my view, which is my assumption? Or I have this feeling of relationship, of mutual fulfillment in the nature? What do you feel? We can request our participants to please put the answers in the chat so that we can proceed ahead with the content, right? Maybe we can take questions, but just with some content. So what is there? Is it A or B? What do we assume, right? Are we believing in this survival of the fittest, the struggle of survival? Let's take this example, right, where we have this room and there are two people in this room. One is strong and the other is weak, and there is food for one. So who will get the food, the strong person or the weak person? Whom do you think is getting the food, the strong or the weak? So some people are saying strong, but what if it's this whole feeling of relationship? So the strong one is the mother and the weak one is the child. Now, the moment the strong one is the mother, right? So what is that is naturally acceptable to us? Is this feeling of relationship or this whole, what is my view? How am I governing myself? That is something which I need to ask, right? Whether it is this competition which should be governing me, or it is this whole feeling of collaboration, cooperation, right? In what case our understanding grows better? When do we say that we have able to ensure this right understanding within us? When we try to help the other understand, when we try to understand ourselves in isolation, or when we try to oppose or misguide the other? This is something which our participants can reflect upon, and they can put answers in the chat. Meenu Didi, we can take up the reflections from the YouTube also, if our participants are reflecting there. So just ask, all of us need to ask ourselves, when is our understanding growing better? When am I able to ensure this excellence in me? So we see continuously participants putting, most of them putting A, right?
And A here also.
A there also, very nice. So we can see for ourselves that our own understanding grows better when we try to help the other, not when we try to oppose the other or misguide the other, right? That is something which all of us can reflect upon. So when we say this whole feeling of reverence, right, by understanding this excellence, if I'm able to see that this excellence is understanding harmony and living in harmony, that is ensuring continuous happiness. So the feeling of acceptance for excellence, which is there within me, is this feeling of reverence. So when we put forth this reverence or shraddha, right, this shraddha is, this reverence is the feeling of acceptance for excellence, right? This excellence is in terms of right understanding and right feeling. It is not in terms of skill, right? So it's not about that he or she is the best cricketer or the best programmer or something like that, right? This excellence is where we are able to understand harmony at 4 levels of our living and live by that, ensuring this continuous happiness. So when we discuss about, or when we try to move ahead with this journey of excellence, it is to ensure this right understanding and right feeling in us. And of course, when we are working for excellence, learning the skills is very easy for us, right? When we work for excellence, we take our own responsibility. And with that whole feeling of responsibility, I'm able to ensure these skills in me, right? What do you feel, right? When each one of us is going to work for excellence, are we able to ensure this learning of skill within us, or that is something which becomes difficult for us? What do you feel? You can just put that in the chat box. While working for excellence, what is there for you, right? These are some of the self reflections for our participants, right? We all can ask ourselves whether you want to be excellent or to be special, different from the other. What do you feel? Whether you want to move towards your journey towards excellence, right? So our students are saying they want to move towards excellence. Some of them are mentioning they want to be unique, they want to be different. So they need to explore for themselves. Is this feeling making them comfortable within, right? Is it able to ensure harmony within? Are they able to ensure this harmony within? The other also wants to be excellent, or the other wants to be special. What does the other also wants? What do we feel? Right? What comes to us? Just like I want to be excellent, the other also wants to be excellent, or the other wants to be special. Can we make jointly an effort towards excellence, or to compete to be special? Right? This is something we can ask. If we want to, with this whole feeling of collaboration, with this whole feeling of being cooperative, with this feeling of complementariness, can we jointly make effort for excellence? Is it possible or not? Which feeling are essential for teamwork to take place, right? What do we need for teamwork? Akhila is saying, yes, it is possible to make a joint effort for each one of us to move towards excellence. For teamwork, people are saying that, yes, collaboration is needed. Now, we want to have this collaboration for teamwork. But when we look at ourselves, if we don't understand excellence and we try to make ourselves unique, are we able to work as a team? Can we actually ensure teamwork within us? Right? So this teamwork, which we say, each one of us is saying that for teamwork, collaboration is essential. But when will this feeling of collaboration come within me? When I work for excellence, or I am focusing on competition? Which feelings are essential for taking help in understanding from the other? What do we need? This is something which all of us need to explore, right? We need to see that if we want to work in a team, what do we need? Do we all need to work towards excellence, or we need to still focus on competition? We have to see our current scenario, what we see around us, and we have to gauge it properly and see what is going to ensure harmony within me. So which feelings are essential for taking help in understanding from the other? What are these feelings which will enable me to take this help from others, right? This is something which we all need to see. With this, maybe we can quickly discuss this assignment with our students and then proceed further. So the assignment based on this particular session is to suggest ways in which we can develop affection amongst different batches in an institute and students of the same batch, where they collaborate more with each other, where each one of them helps each other in progressing towards this journey of excellence, right? Another assignment for you is to make a list of people that you take inspiration from. We defined reverence as this feeling of acceptance for excellence, right? So with this feeling of reverence, we are inspired to be like those who are moving ahead in this journey towards excellence. So evaluate to whom you are taking aspiration from, if they are living in harmony or making an effort to do so. You have to evaluate the feeling you have for them. Is it over, under, or otherwise evaluation? You have to just see to whom you get inspired, right? Are they able to live in harmony, or they are trying to live in harmony at their 4 levels of living or not? And the feeling you have for them, right? You have to evaluate your own inspirations you are looking up to. Are they helping others to live in harmony? Are they able to do so? Note a few things that you would like to learn from someone whom you are looking up to as a source of inspiration, and list a few steps that you need to take to work for excellence. So in this particular session, we have tried to understand excellence, and with this understanding of excellence and ensuring this whole cooperation and being collaborative, right? We have tried to see the difference between competition and collaboration. And you all can work on this assignment, and then you can reflect upon there and suggest what all is there which you would like to put forth. So with this, we move ahead further with our understanding of this feeling of gratitude, right? So with this whole feeling of reverence, right? Reverence is this feeling of acceptance for those who are moving ahead, who are towards excellence, right? So now when I look at this feeling of gratitude, this gratitude is the feeling for those who have made effort in terms of providing help in the process of my own development. So you are sitting over here right now at this age when you are 18 or 19. If you just look back your whole journey, right? You can just see how many people have contributed so that your own process of development can take place, right? Can you have this feeling of gratitude? Let me take some reflection from some of our participants quickly. For whom do they have this feeling of gratitude? What do they feel? Pragati, Vishal, Pragati? Yes, Pita. This whole feeling of gratitude, right? What do you, for whom do you have this feeling of gratitude?
My family members, friends, teachers.
Very true. So can you see that these are the people who are making all the effort so that you can move ahead in your journey towards development, towards excellence?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else you would like to put forth for them?
Ma'am, I have a
Excuse me,
question.
ma'am.
Okay, just a second, Beta. Let me take Pragati's question. Yes, Beta.
What are the benefits of excellence?
Okay, Beta. You ask yourself, if I am able to ensure harmony within me, right? This is the question which you are going to ask yourself. If I am able to ensure this harmony within me, right? What am I going to get out of it? Just see what happens when you are in harmony within. What do you have? What do you feel?
I feel that I have right understanding and right feeling and to
Okay,
have
let's take
excellence.
it other way around. So if you are somewhat disturbed, would you like to continue in that state?
No, ma'am.
If you are somewhat disturbed, there is some disharmony, would you like to continue in that state?
No, ma'am.
But if you have this harmony within you, would you like to continue in that state?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what you want to do, right? This is your aspiration. You want to
Yes,
be
ma'am.
in a state of harmony continuously,
Yeah.
right? So when you work for excellence, is it able to ensure harmony for you?
Yes, ma'am.
So would you like to go ahead in this whole process of your journey towards excellence?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is something which you have to see, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Are you getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Vishal, would you like to put something?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. Good morning, Nitin.
Ma'am, so as you told about excellence, my opinion is that excellence is automatically leading to superiority. So superiority will extend the lead of competition, ma'am. So that that would be still more complex.
Vishal, the
Yes,
definition
ma'am.
which we have put forth for excellence is understanding harmony at 4 levels of living, right? You might have your own preconditioning about this word excellence, but you have to see what is being put forth. You have to see the proposal. So the proposal is to understand harmony. So if you are able to understand harmony for yourself, right, whether you are going to collaborate or compete,
Okay.
what do you feel?
I mean, again,
if you have this understanding of harmony within you, right,
yes,
whether you
yes,
are going to collaborate or compete,
I will collaborate. Yes, I'll collaborate. Rather than competing, I can collaborate.
rather
So
than competing,
harmony.
you will collaborate, right?
So if we have harmony within us, we can like collaborate.
Yes. So if you ensure this whole process of excellence, right, will it enable you to proceed towards collaboration, cooperation, complementariness, or will it enable you for this whole being unique, superiority complex, competing? What do you feel?
Means like we can move forward towards excellence if we are together.
Right.
Like
Very
with
true.
harmony, we can just move forward.
Very true. Very true. So well, we have a number of preconditionings within us. For our students also, in the current scenario, there are a large number of preconditionings which are governing us. But we need to verify these notions which are there within us. And we have to see whether it is something which is naturally acceptable to us, or we are simply governed by these preconditionings without even asking what is naturally acceptable to me. Right? So when we say
But
excellence,
still,
it is understanding harmony.
yes.
Well,
Ma'am, but
so
still, like,
so when you work for excellence, your own classmates, when you work for excellence, right? Our students can ask this question to themselves. When each of our student works for excellence, then the classmates, are they competitors now or they are collaborators?
that
Vishal, we couldn't get your voice. So maybe
if
in
we
a in the
are
yes.
means
So
if we are working together, we are collaborating. Means
yeah.
if we have
So
harmony with each other,
right.
then we are
So
collaborating.
when you are collaborating, are you going to, suppose you're working on some project, right? And on this project, the whole set of people are collaborating together. That makes you more comfortable, or you work on project in isolation and trying to bring about something and competing, which situation makes you comfortable?
No, I mean, I can give a 50% of my perception, ma'am. Means like our contribution is also important, and the collaboration is also important within the group.
Right. So we need to see that in collaboration, all of us can move ahead in our process of development. But when we are competing, we ourselves are not able to utilize our potential to the fullest, and we try to hinder the other also. That is something which we need to explore within ourselves. And of course, our preconditionings are so strong that it is going to take time for each one of us to explore these proposals one after the other and see for ourselves what is naturally acceptable to me.
Yes,
right, beta?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
so
Thank
of
you.
course, it will take time. The current scenario is forcing us to focus more and more on competition. But the question is, are we going to continue like this? Is this something which I would like to continue for myself? That is something which I need to ask for myself. So when we say this gratitude is feeling for those who have made effort in terms of providing help in the process of my development, which means those who are helping me out so that I can move ahead in my journey of excellence. And when I have this feeling of gratitude, what I can see is I can see that the other has a feeling of care, affection, trust in behavior with me, right? I can just see that the other has this, he has helped me in developing right understanding and right feeling in me, be it my parents, be it my teachers, right, be it my friends, whosoever, right? They have ensured, they have helped in developing this right understanding, right feeling in me, and they are providing me with the necessary physical facility, right? That's why I am sitting in a current situation, wherever you are, whichever college you have joined, right? You haven't joined this college straight away. There has been a whole process that has enabled you to do this, whatever you are doing currently. So there has been a whole set of effort which has been put onto you. So you can just see, right? So if you can see that the other is putting so much of effort in ensuring this right understanding and right feeling, in enabling you with the necessary physical facility, that is this feeling of gratitude. And this feeling of gratitude is extremely significant in the development of our relationships. When we are able to see this feeling of gratitude, when we are able to express this feeling of gratitude to the others. Right now, I am sitting talking to you. So I have this feeling of gratitude to this technology, all those set of people who have enabled me to do so, right? My own surroundings which have enabled me so that I can talk to you comfortably. So this whole feeling of gratitude is there within each one of us. So you have to see, right? Do you agree to this feeling of gratitude? You can just put in the chat box. Do you agree to this, that this gratitude is significant in the development of relationship? Or do you disagree, right? Can we do away without this whole feeling of gratitude within us? So many students are saying, and you all can look forward to all those for whom you have this feeling of gratitude, right? So this gratitude is for all the help we receive. Let's see what kind of gratitude and for what, for whom we have this feeling of gratitude, right? So let us list down the help we are receiving from the friends, from the family, teachers, society, nature. Just see this whole, even if I'm holding a glass of milk in my hand, right? You have to see every day this milkman is coming. He is providing this milk early morning to my house, right? Then this milkman is getting this milk from some dairy. People are working there with the cattle, right? They're serving the cattle, they're doing the process, right? And then there is somebody who is arranging the feed for the cattle, right? Somebody is growing something. You can see how long the chain is. Even if for a glass of milk, you can just move ahead, you move back and retrace how many people are linked in the chain. So you can just list down the help that we are receiving. The teachers have enabled us, right? You started from class nursery, right? From nursery, you moved on one step after the other. And you haven't straight away entered into the college and started doing things, right? So we all need to see, you have to make a list of the needs you are using throughout the day, right? And then see the people and the natural environment which is immediately responsible to fulfill this need. For example, you are taking one bite of food. Now, how has that bite of food able to reach to your plate and eventually to your body and giving energy? So we all can see that whatever our needs are throughout the day, how many people and how much of our natural environment is involved in fulfilling that need. Again, another thing which you can do is make a list of people who have helped in growing this food, processing it, transporting it to your place, and so on. You will start seeing how your list of gratitude is increasing, right? You are able to understand what I'm telling, right? Somebody has enabled you to understand a language, to comprehend things, right? It's not possible all of a sudden that you have started knowing everything, right? So we can see that the utensils in which we are eating, right? Machines are being used, the furniture on which we are sitting, right? We can just see around. So can you just count the total number of people who are directly or indirectly involved in ensuring just one meal for you? Can you put up that in the chat box? Can you please put that in the chat box? How many people? Can you actually count the number of people that are involved? Well, some of our students are mentioning that. Can you just see? Maybe on YouTube also, our participants, are they able to put forth their own thought on this? Can they count the total number of people who are directly or indirectly involved in ensuring just a single meal?
Ma'am, all the answers are no. Uncountable, countless.
And we can see, can simply money provide this? Can we just survive with money? Is it money which is providing all this? If these people are not involved, if they don't do things with feelings, that is something which we have to ask. Maybe we can take one question from our participant. Arvind, you have something to ask, beta? Arvind, Anant, Neha. We have some participants who are raising hand. We are trying to provide them with mic. Nikita. Those who want to say something or ask some question, they can raise their hands. We are getting answers from our participants. Bishal Sarkar. Our participants are raising hands and we are trying to provide them mic. Are they able to get the voice? Bishal Sarkar. Nikita. Okay, maybe so many of them are writing in the chat and they are saying that it is not countable. Farmers, transportation workers, processing workers. Yes, beta.
Ma'am, it is not at all possible to ensure that how many people are like helping in providing just one meal for us, because first of all, just working hard and producing the meal is not important. Without feeling and without just happily doing one thing is different, and just doing one thing just we have to do is a different thing. So
very true, beta. You cannot count. That is very true. But
yes, ma'am.
Can you ensure this feeling of gratitude within yourself for all? Is it something which is doable?
And first of all, before any situation, we should decide that we should keep ourselves in that place first. And when we put ourselves in that place, we understand that what they are going through and what they
Very
deserve
true.
to be.
Very
and
true.
what
Very true.
respect
So
they want.
very true. Very true. So if you are able to see the effort a farmer is putting, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The effort a worker is putting. Now, with this feeling within you, when you are going to interact with the security guard who is standing in front of your house, in
Yes,
front
ma'am.
of your society, your interaction with this feeling of gratitude, is it going to show some kind of a shift?
Ma'am, definitely, because he is not only first of all, everyone knows that everyone is doing all these things for money, because no one deserves to be a security guard, because he is not that much educated. But when he is doing that for us, we should definitely show gratitude and respect to him,
Very
because
true.
from
Very
morning
true.
to night he is there for our security.
Yes.
And if we don't
So,
show that respect to him, it doesn't give.
right.
Yes,
Very,
ma'am.
very true,
Yes, ma'am.
Vishal. Whatever you are saying, if we are able to see this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Once we are able to see this, we are able to ensure this feeling of gratitude within us. But if we don't see it, then this feeling of gratitude goes missing. So we can just see how many people are there who are trying to help us with all what we are able to do today, right? If I look, whatever I am able to do today, that is because of so many people, so many units in the nature, not just the people. It's how will I get all these things from, right? It's the earth which is ensuring that the proper crop can grow, right? We can just see around. So this is something which each one of us needs to reflect, that can simply money provide it? If these people are not involved, they don't participate in the whole process. And this whole feeling of gratitude, right? We can just see that we are related to this whole environment, which includes all other human beings as well as the rest of the nature. And we are dependent on them to fulfill our basic needs of this knowledge, this right understanding, right feelings, and physical facility, right? So can we see this role of nature this role of surroundings within us? Any of our participants? Some of them can, of course, put the answers in the chat. Can you all see how we are related to this? We are dependent on this whole nature, this whole surroundings for our basic needs. Can you see that? So our participant Harsh is saying that we will see in Diwali shopping, many of the persons, they want to bargain with these potters and all, and they don't see their effort. Very true, beta. This is something which we are seeing around, and it is we, with this right understanding within us, are able to bring about this change, right? We all, once we are able to see this for ourselves, we are able to bring about this change. So very true. Whatever you're putting, that is something which is very true, and this is something which we see in the current scenario. So now we have to see this for ourselves, right? We have to check whether we have this feeling of gratitude for those who have made effort, right, for us in our life. So let's ask this question to our participants. So are you able to appreciate both what has been done as well as what has not been done, the complete picture? Or you're mostly focused on what has not been done while interacting with your parents, while interacting with your faculty, with your teachers, right? Are you able to see for your institute? Are you able to see the complete picture? Or you just say, Papa, my friend has got this, you haven't done this. Mama, you couldn't do this. Our institute is so bad, the institute is not providing this. Are we in this complaining mode every time? Or we are able to see all what that has been done for us as well as what has not been done? That's the complete picture. So let's have this reflection, whether it is A or B, for ourselves. Some honest reflections from our participants. So many of our participants, they are just putting A. Some are reflecting and they are saying that yes, sometimes they are in complaining mode, and they are putting B also. Very honest reflection. Maybe we can hear from some of our students. Amar, would you like to say something, beta? Vaishnav? Vaishnav? Maybe on YouTube. Minu Didi, what kind of reflections we are getting?
Didi, we are getting mixed, but most of them are saying A.
Yes. So those, we can just see people are there who are able to explore within themselves and put forth their honest reflection. Those who are putting B, they can just see that yes, at times they are mostly focused on what has not been done. They are in a complaining mode, right? In fact, Sri Lakshmi, one of the students, is putting that 80% times it is B and only 20% times it is A. Very true. We can see our own state. This is very honest reflection from all of us. We can see our own state, right? So we have to see ourselves. Where are we lacking on our part, right? Another thing to reflect upon is, do you have this feeling of gratitude for the other continuously? For your own parents, for your own teachers? Are you able to have this feeling continuously that we have got so much? In fact, if we just ask ourselves and see the percentage, have we got more, or is it that so much has not been done, which has a higher percentage? We can just ask. So is this feeling of gratitude for the other continuous within us, or is it keeps coming and going? Sometimes we have this feeling of gratitude and sometimes it goes. What do you feel? What do you feel about this question too? This feeling of gratitude, whether it keeps coming or going, or is it always there within us? So Meenakshi is saying most of the times it is B. That means sometimes I have this feeling of gratitude, but sometimes I just feel that it comes and goes. Yes, very, very, very real explorations, very real reflections which are coming from our participants, that most of the times this feeling of gratitude keeps coming and going because we start complaining without realizing how much has been done for us. So maybe that 10 things are done for us, but even if one is not done, we automatically start saying that nothing has been done. Are we making the right evaluation there? Or we are showing this under evaluation of the other, right? Another question which we need to reflect for ourselves: are you making effort for ensuring the right feelings in yourself and expressing them to the other? Which means that I have this feeling of gratitude within me and I am able to express it also to the other, where I am able to tell it to the other or express it to the other that yes, I make a note of this, that you have done so much for me and I am expressing it. Or we are merely expecting these feelings for the other, that I have done so much for the other, for my own friend. Look, I helped him so much and he didn't acknowledge. Is it something that comes to us? For question 3, what kind of reflections come to you? Is it A or B for question 3? Some of them are saying they are ensuring this right feeling within them and they are expressing also to the other. So most of them are saying, so very nice. Some are saying both A and B. Sometimes they express it, but sometimes they expect also these feelings from the other. So this is something which each one of us can reflect for ourselves. Each one of us can see for ourselves whether we are able to look at this feeling of gratitude within us, we are able to ensure this right feeling and express it to all others, or we are just expecting these feelings from the other. Now, if we are mostly focused on what has not been done, then what do we need to do? We need to broaden our vision to look at this entire reality. So maybe at times our parents might not have been able to do one thing, but they have done hundreds of things for us. Similarly, with our teachers, with our institutes, maybe one particular thing the institute is not able to do, the teachers are not able to do, but they have done hundreds and hundreds of things. We can just see for ourselves. We need to look for ourselves, look within us. Right? Maybe we can just take reflection from some of our students. Divya, would you like to say something? Divya, would you like to say something?
No, ma'am.
Meenakshi? Okay. So our participants, okay, some of the faculty members have raised their hands. So maybe we can just take Ananta Kumar Nath sir. Would you like to say something? Would you like to say something? Okay, maybe. So if this feeling of gratitude keeps coming and going in us, right? What does it imply? If the other has shared this right understanding, right feeling, as well as physical facility, and you are not able to see that, then you need to pay more attention to your own understanding, your own feelings, and you have to set your expectations right. Right? If I am not able to see that, I need to set my own expectations right. I need to ensure this understanding in me. If the other has primarily shared physical facility and is expecting gratitude in continuity, then that expectation may not be fulfilled, right? There is a possibility that somebody is only sharing physical facility and expecting this gratitude in continuity, that the other should feel grateful about it. Then maybe we need to realize that this is over expectation. So maybe suppose I'm just helping my friends with some notes, right? So every time I note down something, I have these notes and I'm providing these notes to my friend without ensuring this clarity of concepts within my friend, right? I'm not taking any effort for that clarity, but I'm just providing the notes. And by providing those notes, I expect for myself that he or she should be grateful to me. Then that is something which is an over expectation. Right? I have not ensured this right understanding for my own friend. And I'm expecting that he should express this gratitude forever. So that is an over expectation. That is something which I need to see for myself. Right? When I'm expecting these feelings from the other, in that case, I need to make this effort to ensure right understanding and right feeling in myself. Then only I will be able to live with responsibility with the other. Otherwise, I will not able to ensure this harmony within me. Right? So this whole right understanding, right feeling within me is very important, so that I can see that I am able to express this feeling of gratitude for the others. And I don't expect somebody else to give this feeling to me in continuity. I start living more responsibly, right? You can just ask, what do you feel about this? So if any of our participants would like to say something about this, they
Ma'am?
can. Yes, beta. Yes,
Ma'am,
Vitsi.
actually, like generally, if someone gives us something, we feel gratitude. But like if we are sort of working on something, then we need to see more on what has not been done to sort of improvise others' efficiency. So isn't that what has not been done
So
also important?
when you're evaluating somebody's work, when you're looking at somebody's work or somebody's project and trying to let him know what is left at that point, what is your feeling? Is it the feeling to help the other, or the feeling to hurt the other, or with this feeling of competition? What is their feeling within you? Are you trying to be
Ma'am,
more
isn't it help?
responsible? That's
Yes,
what
ma'am,
you have
because
to
I'm telling
ask,
him.
right? Well, if it is with this feeling of responsibility within you, where you want to ensure the other to excel, right, to do better,
Yes, ma'am.
at that point of time, right, you are trying to help out the other. So there is no opposition within you also. There is this harmony ensured within you. You are
Yes,
helping
ma'am.
the other, right? So that is giving you your own happiness,
Yes.
and the other is also seeking help from you. But when you try to dominate the other, are you
Yes,
comfortable with that feeling?
correct.
Are you getting what I'm
No,
saying?
ma'am. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right? So
Thank you,
so
ma'am.
when we are able to ensure this understanding in the other, so the first I need to ensure this right understanding and right feeling within me. It's the feeling which is important. If that feeling is right, I'm able to express it, and I'm able to have this definite conduct in me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ananda wants to say something. Ananda has raised hand. Ananda Parida, you want to say something? Livia Peju. Okay, so let's move ahead further. Now we are trying to understand. Yes, Livia, you want to say something? You've unmuted yourself, beta. Okay, so let's move ahead. Let's try to further explore this whole feeling of love, right? This, we have got this clarity about what affection is. So let's ask this question to ourselves on the basis of your own natural acceptance. Let's see if you want to be related to none, one, many, or everyone. What comes to you? You can put the answers in the chat. So what comes to you? Well, Nikita Bandaru is saying everyone. Jayalakshmi is saying everyone. Pragati is saying everyone. Everyone, everyone. So many are saying, some of them are saying one. Some of them are saying to be related to everyone. Right? So we are getting all these answers. Let's see for ourselves. If I have this feeling of being related to none, is that I am in opposition to all. Is this something which is naturally acceptable to me? Feeling of being related to one or many. This is affection, where I accept the other as my relative. So I have this acceptance that the other is my relative, and I take care of the other. I take the responsibility of the other. I help out the other, ensure this right understanding for the other. So that is this feeling of affection, which I have in my relation. And when we say love, it's the feeling of being related to all, which is a complete value. We started with trust, which is the foundation value. And now we are talking about this love, which is the complete value. This feeling of being related to all, where I have this acceptance for all as my relative. That is this feeling of love. Now, this feeling of love, because of the media, because of the movies, we have our own preconditionings related to love, some of the misunderstandings about this whole feeling. When we look at our own natural acceptance is to be related to all, and that is this feeling of love. But we have our own preconditionings related to this whole feeling, these misunderstandings, where we have this excitement from sensations that is confused for this feeling of love. When we say love, based on our own preconditionings, we create our own meanings to it. So when we say this excitement, that is sensation, lust, getting from other, can we get that in continuity? What do you feel? Is it possible to have it in continuity? You can put your answers as yes or no in the chat box. So can we have this in continuity? So many of our students, right, they are saying that no, continuity of this is not possible. When we say feelings, these feelings are there which are naturally acceptable to us, and we have them in continuity. So this whole feeling of love, right, if we are confusing it with this excitement, with this sensation, lust, we see that continuity is not possible. And you all are able to explore this, but we have all these preconditionings within us. Infatuation, right, we have these notions, love at first sight. The movies have further strengthened our own preconditionings. So we have this within us. By a certain age, I must have a girlfriend, I must have a boyfriend, the other is having. Can we expect continuity of these feelings if they are based on sensations or preconditionings? Can we find some kind of a continuity in them? Right? So this feeling of love, based on right understanding, based on our natural acceptance, is the feeling of being related to all, responsible towards all, giving it to all in continuity. That is something which is naturally acceptable to us, and we can just ask ourselves, is this something which can be there in continuity? Can a continuity be possible with this definition of love being related to all? So Arzu is saying yes, a continuity is possible. Our faculty members are also putting that yes, continuity is possible with this as our feeling. But what have we misunderstood, right? What is our gross misunderstanding? When we have our own preconditionings, when we have our own definitions, common misunderstandings about love, right? We are governed by that. And based on that, we create our own notions. In fact, there is this news article which said that love is killer number one amongst 4 Indian states, right? People sticking to such heinous crimes and claiming that they have this feeling of love. Is it something which is naturally acceptable to us? Right? We have seen so many things, right? We have grossly misunderstood this feeling of love, and with our own misunderstandings, we are creating problems for ourselves as well as for others too, right? In fact, this reminds me of this joke where this person visits to an asylum, and he sees that there's this one person who is there in the mental asylum, and he asks what happened to him, why is this person in the mental asylum? So he said that this person loved a girl but could not proceed with the relationship, so he is now there in the asylum. And then he moved to the next cell, and then in the next cell again there is another person who is uh, uh, crying and yelling and doing all sorts of nasty things. And then he asked what happened. So then this other person, he said that he married the girl which the previous cell person could not marry. So that is the current state of love, where we don't understand our own relationships. So whether you continue with whomsoever you find, you are facing problem, right? So we haven't understood this. We have our own preconditionings. So our students are able to relate to this whole joke very clearly. People are putting that up. Maybe we can have 1 or 2 reflections from our participants about what they could feel about this whole feeling. This whole feeling of love can only be ensured once this trust, respect, affection, reverence, gratitude, all these are ensured in the relationship. Then only we have this feeling of being related to all, which follows naturally, right? So let me take some reflection from our participants. Uh, what is your own understanding? Yes, Pragati, would you like to say something, beta? We need to see for ourselves. Are we bound with this common misunderstanding?
No, ma'am.
So what would you like to say, Vita, regarding this? Any reflection from your side or any query?
There should be right understanding and right feeling.
Right.
And you
So
should trust one self.
so when we look forward in relationship, right, based on trust, Arzu wants to say something. Yes, Arzu, you want to say something, Vita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
Vita.
I totally agree with you that in the relationship there should be a right understanding and trust between the two people.
So if we are able to understand this trust for ourselves, this trust is this assurance within me that the other wants to make me happy, right? So once
Yes,
this
ma'am.
trust, respect, affection, all these feelings follow one after the other, then only we have this feeling of love, that is the feeling of being related to all, right? So this is this for our participants. Have they been able to see for themselves that this misunderstanding is leading to a number of problems, right? Are you
Yes,
able to
ma'am.
see for this? In
Yes, ma'am.
fact, we got this in the newspaper where it said that in Uttar Pradesh, most of the murder cases were related to all this love triangles which we see around. And this is something which was quoted in the newspaper. So can love be such a feeling which can lead to such heinous crimes, right? So we can just see with this misunderstanding within us, right? Our participants, they can put their reflections in the chat. What would do they feel about this whole feeling of love, right? So maybe we can just discuss the assignment quickly and then we can take up any question if they are. So the assignment is make a list of people in your family, in the college, and in the larger society who are directly and indirectly responsible to fulfill your needs. And then the next one is, what is your feeling for them? What is your interaction with them? And what is your contribution? How are you contributing in terms of understanding, feelings, physical facility to them? And then distinguish between this love and infatuation. Are we getting this clarity between these two feelings, love and infatuation? This infatuation, which is sensation based, can that be confused to this feeling of love, which is being related to all? So this is the assignment which is there for all our participants. And now we can take up questions. So for that, I'll just lower all hands so that because our participants, all those who will raise hand, we'll provide the mic now. Vaishnavi, you have raised your hand. Yes, Pita, go ahead.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes, Pita.
Once in my school, a person came and they told me that you can show gratitude to everyone except friends. Why is that? Why can't we show our gratitude to friends, whereas we can show it
Well,
to
Pita,
everyone?
we never put forth anything like that. This gratitude is the feeling for all those who are making effort so that I can move ahead in my journey towards excellence, which means it includes your friends, your siblings, your family members, and everyone else. You can just see how much this list will grow once you start reflecting within yourself.
Vanchana,
Thank you, ma'am.
Ji Manisha
Vanchana,
Didi.
may I
Yes.
just make a small announcement for the
Sure,
participants?
Didi. Sure,
Uh,
Didi.
okay, dear participants, that means the children and everybody alike, all the faculty members and all those who join us. Well, the link for the quiz, of course, is open, and you can take up the quiz as well. And of course, as we already know that the assignment link also opens at the same time, but you can submit the assignment by 9:30 tomorrow morning, so there's no hurry for the assignment. But yes, the link for quiz will be open for this while, I mean, during this break itself. And after the break, of course, we'll be having a session on literary activities. And for the session today, we have the resource person, Shashi Kiran BNG, with us. So you can see him right at the left corner. That is Shashi Kiran BNG. He's going to discuss something about, moreover, the use of literature in technical or engineering, how and where the ancient literature is also playing a role in that. And apart from that, of course, as you can see the view foil, Shashikaranji is also a mechanical engineer, but very keen on Sanskrit and literature, the ancient literature. Okay, so he'll be there with us to talk to us at 2 o'clock. And after that, of course, we'll be having a session on health. Okay, and right now you're seeing a view foil wherein our resource persons for the human values sessions are there. Right at the extreme left corner, you're seeing Dr. Sharmila Asthana Didi, then Kumar Sambhav Didi, and you've been listening to Dr. Vanchana Singh Di. There's the second tick, that is Dr. Vanchana Singh Di. And then we have Umesh Bhaiya, and right at the right hand corner we have Jitin Narula Bhaiya. So all these resource persons are for human value sessions. Apart from that, I just wanted to say that the link for quiz is open, and the break time is for 1 hour, from 1 to 2. Okay, and in the evening today, communicating with all the participants will be Dr. Rajneesh Arora sir. He's MD, he's ACT, MD at ACT Amritsar, and chairman of NCC IP. And NCC IP is organizing, of course, all these SIP events and a number of workshops during this lockdown period as well. And we'll be communicating, or the children can communicate with him, and you'll be listening to him. Of course, with these words, if Vanchana Di is still with us, and it will be a really wonderful interaction from 4:30 to 5:30 as well. So if Vanchana Di is with us for a while, we can take a question or two. Otherwise, yes.
We'll take one more question. Kavya is there.
Kavya is there, right. Kavya, would you like to put up a query? Then Varshini is there. She has the mic. Would you like to put up a query, beta?
I've already done, ma'am.
Wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's good.
Dr. GM Krishnaya is there, maybe. Dr. GM Krishnaya. Maybe Didi, our participants are moving for the quiz and all. So let's give them time to reflect on, so that
yes, we can give them a little time, and then they have to have their lunch as well.
Krishnaya is speaking, madam.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Dr.
sir.
GM Krishnaya is speaking.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam. Hello.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Madam,
actually,
I'm attending this program since 2018. 10 days program, 3 days program and all. Even that since March, April this year till date, I've attended more than 5 programs, about 50 pieces, even weekly meetings, monthly meetings also. It is so nice of you, madam. It's so very good program, and I'm enjoying that.
Thank you, sir.
As a UHV coordinator and SIP coordinator for college, I have more responsibilities. I'm learning many things from your side, madam.
Sure, sir. We all have to hold hands together and ensure this journey towards excellence for each one of us, for our students, for our colleagues, and for all of us. All of us need to hold hand together and work towards proceeding in this journey of excellence. So very nice, sir. Nice
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you, madam.
Maybe Harsh Raj will take up your question as last question. Yes, beta.
Ma'am, the main problem of my nature is whom should I trust? because being a more honest, I trust very easily everyone in any relationship, even in my friendship, even in my relatives. That hurts me more. So what should I do? Because being more honest is very hurtful to me nowadays.
Well, beta Harsh, when we say trust, right, you might have your own definition, but let's look at this whole proposal of trust. This trust is to have this assurance within me that the other also wants to make me happy. He may not be able to do so, right? That is his ability. Okay, so your friends may not come up to whatever your expectation is. That is their ability part. So if you are able to rightly evaluate your relations, right, and rightly evaluate yourself, right, both the things are important. You need to rightly evaluate yourself as well as the other with whom you are interacting. Are
Okay,
you
ma'am.
getting this? So
Yes,
with
ma'am.
this right evaluation, you will be able to see the competence of the other. And with that right evaluation, then you are going to have this interaction with this feeling of trust ensured in you. So you have this trust ensured in you that the other wants to make you happy. He may not be able to do so is because of his ability part. Just like for you, you want to make the other happy, but every time you see that it may not happen so,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, ma'am.
You might have you might ran short of this accomplishment that you make other happy always, but for yourself you can see your intention clearly that you want to make the other happy.
Ma'am,
For the
then
other,
what should I
what
do?
common mistake is, yes,
Should I continue to help everyone when he needs, or what should I do? How should I trust
yes,
if
well,
he or she
so
will be
so you have, when you help other, is that make you comfortable or uncomfortable?
very comfortable, ma'am. I feel very
So you
happy.
you are able to ensure your own happiness, and this is something which you want for yourself,
Yeah, ma'am.
right?
Always. I
so
always
so
want
so
everyone to help.
so so now the question for other doesn't come into picture. Now it is you who want to do it, right? And what would you like to do? Would you like to continue it or you want to drop it?
I can't stop it because not
Yes.
all fingers are
So,
same.
so yes. So you have to ask yourself, whatever, if you are trying to help the other person out, right? Is that something which is naturally acceptable to you and you are working in accordance with your own natural acceptance and ensuring your own harmony or not? That is something which you can see for yourself,
Okay, ma'am.
right?
Thank you. Thanks,
Right.
ma'am.
So if that is ensuring your own harmony, you are going to continue with that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and for the other, we can help out the other to understand, right? But that is only possible once the other is assured in relationship,
Yeah,
so that
that's
we can work on his or her competence, right?
yeah, ma'am.
So
Thank you.
maybe with this, it's high time for our participants to go for lunch,
Ma'am,
and they have to do the quiz also. G.
ma'am,
So
can I
um,
out?
okay, Amrita, we'll take a quick question from you, maybe.
Ma'am, I understand that I have to respect and show gratitude to those who help me, and I also am not expecting the same respect or gratitude from anyone. Those I am helping. That's an equality to me, and I'm not also I can't find any happiness or continuous happening of this will cause any depression like that.
Well, if you are able to rightly evaluate yourself, right? That is first thing which I need to do for myself, you need to do for yourself. So the first thing is that you should be able to rightly evaluate yourself, right? And this feeling of trust in all relationships, the foundation value is this feeling of trust. And trust, if we look at this feeling of trust, it is to have this assurance in me that the other is also similar to me. So the way I want to make the other happy, the other also wants to make me happy. He may not be able to do so. That is his competence, not his intention,
Okay, ma'am.
right? So
Yes.
so if I'm able to see that, then I will continue doing my bit and I'll give time to the other, right?
Okay.
I may not change the other in a day or so, but with my behavior being definite over a period of time, the other gets assurance, right? So the other is able to ensure this trust. Now the other will seek advice from me, take help from me, because now he is assured in relationship, not before that, right?
Okay.
You can ask yourself, whom do you seek advice from? Someone who you find more responsible and you have this assurance that the other is able to guide me, or you seek advice from anyone? What do you
Ma'am.
feel?
No, once again, ma'am, I didn't hear that properly.
Okay, beta, I'm saying for you yourself, with whom do you seek advice, seek help, or try to understand? Someone who is more responsible than you, and you have this assurance that the other is there to help you out, or you seek advice from anyone?
The first one, ma'am, of course.
Yeah.
From
So that's what I'm saying. In your relationship, when you live with more responsibility, slowly the other gets that assurance that now you are more responsible. Then only the other seeks your advice, not before that.
Okay, ma'am. So I
Okay.
want to take it as my responsibility to change him
Yes.
from my own behavior.
You assure your own behavior. You live unconditionally, unperturbed by the behavior of the other, and then slowly the other gets that assurance, and then you can bring about change in the other. If you feel that the other has lack of competence, then you can work.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. So maybe with this we can break for the lunch and rejoin the session once again. The session will be open from 1:45 onwards, so our participants can surely join. Namaste from our side. Namaste to all participants and namaste to